Coming up this week on the GCN Racing News Show, Philippe Gilbert adds a fourth different monument to his collection with a well-crafted victory at Paris Roubaix. We ask, is he the best classics rider of his generation? We also have the drama at the Tour of the Basque Country as the race leader goes off course, the Healthy Aging Tour, the Scheldeprijs Sprinters Classic, and finally, the return of Carlos Betancur at the Klasika Primavera. First up though, Paris-Roubaix. It's known as the Queen of the Classics for a reason, and this year, in my opinion, it was a brilliant addition. It was full on from the moment the flag dropped to the moment that Philippe Gilbert was crowned victor 6 hours later. Despite a headwind for much of the day, the average speed was over 43 kilometers an hour. Before we talk through the win though, let's take a look at our GCN presenter predictions.
Jens Kirkelera, Wout van Aert,
John Degenkolb,
Greg van Avermaet,
Alexander Kristoff.
No, I think I'm going to go for Sagan.
Well, one thing's almost certain, Dan. We can't lose.
Not really.
Woeful as ever. Although not making the cut was this prediction from Chris Opie.
My prediction for Paris-Roubaix is Niels Pollitt.
The legs are quite good, yeah.
I promise you that he did that video before the race. Niels Pollitt gave Katusha Alpecin arguably their best result in what has been a torrid season so far. The German rode with immense strength, but he was no match in the velodrome for the class and experience of Gilbert. He and his team de Koenig Quickstep gave yet another masterclass in racecraft. We didn't see too much of them early on in the race. They conserved energy, but when it mattered, they were there in numbers. Gilbert was quick to respond when Pollitt broke the unwritten rule and attacked in the feed zone. And once that group had swelled to 6, they also had Lampard. It put them in pole position, and from that point on, it was hard to see them being beaten. But you still have to finish the job. And Gilbert did that perfectly, responding to another attack from Pollitt after Carrefour de l'Arbre, and then getting the better and reasonably easy in the final sprint to the line. It cements Gilbert as one of the best classics riders of all time and arguably the best of his generation. He's now won 4 of 5 monuments, the only one missing is Milan-San Remo. The last rider to have won 4 of 5 monuments on their palmares was Sean Kelly in 1986. Only 3 riders in history have won all 5, Merckx of course, Van Looy and De Vlaeminck, all Belgians. So does this make Gilbert the best classics rider of his generation? There's certainly a case to be made for it. Of the current pro riders, Valverde is the next best with 4 monument wins, all of which have come at Liège-Bastogne-Liège. Beyond that, for riders in a similar age, we have to look at Cancellara, who took 7 monument wins in 3 different events, and Tom Boonen, who also took 7, all in either Flanders or Roubaix. What sets Gilbert apart though is the diversity of his wins. He may have won 2 fewer monuments, but when you look down the list, it's an exclusive club who've won 4 of 5. To even find somebody that's won Lombardy, Liège and Roubaix, you have to go back over 20 years. Add to that his World Championship win, and the club gets even more exclusive. We'd like to know your thoughts on the very subject. Is Gilbert the best classics rider of his generation? Let us know in the poll on the screen right now and also in the comments section below. Regardless, he's still not quite up there with Muhammad Ali, Pele and Michael Jordan, as this Instagram post from last year alluded to. Whilst it was Gilbert and de Koenig who had all the glory, man of the match, and in fact this week's GCN Rider of the Week is Wout van Aert. How incredible was he yesterday? He had a mechanical in the Trier de Arenberg, chased back on, swapped bikes, crashed on an innocuous right-hander soon after, chased back on again, and then still somehow managed to have the reserves to get across to the winning move. In the end, he finished 20th. The lights did eventually go out, but given what he'd done, that wasn't really a surprise. This series of pictures show exactly how deep he went. So you have to say, chapeau, sir. What was a surprise though was the fact that neither of his teammates in the leading group waited for him after either of his problems, which surely would have saved him vital energy. Whether or not that was an instruction from the team car, we still don't know. What we do know is that there's a lot more to come from Wout van Aert, and that he and Mathieu van der Poel are inspiring a whole new generation of cyclists. Off-road racers are making road racing great again. Before we finish with Roubaix, a final word about Sepp van Mark. The Belgian from EF Education first rode a stellar race, never putting a foot wrong, a feat made all the more impressive by the fact that he's barely been able to train since he got injured at the E3 Bink Bank Classic. However, a mechanical problem which left him in the 11th sprocket put pay to his chances of taking the win, and he was inconsolable at the finish line after coming fourth. We'll move on now to the Itzula Tour of the Basque Country, a race where the climbs are so steep, even the pros find it hard to ride up them.
We've seen so many riders at this point. They're weaving and, whoa, there you are, just coming to a virtual standstill.
That was George Bennett in the prologue, which was won by Bora Hansgrohe's Max Schachmann, who then went on to win 3 of the first 4 stages. The only man to break his winning streak was Julien Alaphilippe, who won stage 2 in an uphill sprint. That victory meant that the Frenchman has won at every race he's done in 2019. Unfortunately though, he would end up going home early after a high-speed pile-up on stage 3, which would also see Mikhail Kwiatkowski, amongst others, ending their race prematurely. For Bora Hansgrohe though, it turned out to be a great race, with Emmanuel Buchmann using his attack as the best form of defence on the penultimate day, sailing to a solo stage win, the team's 4th of the race, and taking the overall lead by close to a minute. However, things unravelled for them in more ways than one on the final day of racing. Astana went on the offensive, Bora and Buchmann unable to respond. Adam Yates won the stage, Jonit Aguirre the overall. Behind, Buchmann was fighting valiantly for a place on the overall podium until this happened.
But we're just waiting to see if he'll actually finish second. Oh, he went the wrong way.
Oh, no, they followed the camera bike. Well, that's going to count against him as well. He may well cede second and end up in 3rd place. Oh, well, you know, the drama never stops in this race. Here is Buchmann now fighting to hold on to 2nd place after the very last turn, the twists and turns of the knife, I guess you might say.
A mistake which left him agonisingly in 4th place overall, temporarily. Ultimately, the organisers would give him his lost time back, which reinstated him in 3rd place on GC. For Astana, quite incredibly, that was their 9th overall stage win of the year. The Basque Country is often referred to by pro riders as the hardest race of the year. And I think this analysis of Pogačar's power by Matti Piorali on Twitter puts that into numerical context. 439 watts for 10 minutes at the point where Astana broke the race apart. That is some serious power for a lightweight climber. To add to the week-long punishment in the Basque Country, some of the riders then go to the Klasika Primavera the following day. Amongst them was the winner, Carlos Betancur. I think it's fair to say that we haven't really seen the best of Betancur for the past few years, due to some personal problems that he's been dealing with, so it's great to see the man affectionately known as Bananita back towards his best and taking his first victory in 3 years. Meanwhile, the women's peloton moved to the Netherlands for the Healthy Aging Tour. The 5-day race also includes a stage race for the junior women and was won by up-and-coming American Megan Jastrup, with Gent-Wevelgem winner Eleanor Backstead in 2nd and Femke Heretzer in 3rd. In the pro race, eventual winner Lisa Klein opened the race with a runner-up slot to Trek Segafreda's Lotte Lepisto, who found her way through a crash on the final corner to take stage 1. Team Ventoux' Micah Kröger took a solo stage win on stage 2, going clear from a break of 3. Before in form, Kirsten Wild enjoyed the first of 2 trips to the podium with a victory on stage 3. Day 4 was a split day, an individual time trial which was taken by European time trial champion Ellen van Dijk by just over 2 seconds from Klein, who moved into the leader's jersey. WNT's Lisa Brennau then went clear with the Virtus' Anuska Costa in the afternoon and took a long drawn-out stage of victory, with neither rider affecting the GC. The 5th and final stage was a rapid one with many early breaks, none of which managed to stay clear. We did though see a move by world champion Anna van der Breggen with just over 30 kilometres to go. She was later joined at the front by Ellen van Dijk. It was great to see van der Breggen on the offensive in only her 3rd road event of the year. Despite their efforts, a sprint was inevitable and Kirsten Wild took her 2nd stage win of the race. However, it was a great overall win for Lisa Klein, whose team said that she said that it was her first pro win, so clearly the German title and the prologue of Elsie Jacobs don't count. The other one-day World Tour race in Belgium last week was the Sprinters Classic, the Scheldeprijs. There was back-to-back wins for Dutchman Fabio Jacobsen of De Koning Quickstep, but one of the other stories was that of Marcel Kittel getting dropped. It led to more questions being asked in the media, to which Kittel gave this response. It's always easy to be a man when he's on the ground. I'm facing a difficult period and I'm thankful to everyone who's supporting me right now. I'm sure you'll all join me in wishing Marcel all the best, one of the nicest guys in the peloton. Let's hope he can re-find his mojo soon, both on and off the bike. Right, that's all for this week. Next week, we'll have the Amstel Gold Race, where we'll see Lizzie Deignan make her return to competition, and the Tour of Turkey, where there's another return to competition, this time for Mark Cavendish. Before that, if you'd like to see what goes into providing Team Sky's riders with the best backup at the Cobble Classics, you can click down here, and Dan spent the day as one of their zone hoppers.